Hello and welcome to the Hairdresser Strong Show. My name is Robert Hughes and I'm your host. Today we're talking with Dominique DiBenedetto from Florida, and who's a salon owner, educator, and all-around entrepreneur with multiple businesses. Dominique, would you introduce yourself to our viewers?
Hi, everyone. My name is Dominique DiBenedetto, and I'm super excited to be here. I am a salon owner. I have a team in South Florida. That's amazing. I have a wig business as well. I specialize in color, educating others, sharing my knowledge of the mistakes that I've made and how to not make them, and basically help other stylists come up and grow in the most positive way in today's hair industry.
Awesome. Cool. So how many, you have one salon and a wig business? Tell us a little bit about the specific details.
So I have a salon. I used to have a suite, actually.
Okay.
I used to be a suite owner and a sola for a really, really long time. And
okay.
what happened?
Sorry to interrupt. Did you start off in a suite?
No.
Okay. So you started in a salon?
Oh yeah. When I started doing hair, there was no suites.
Okay. All right. Cool.
So
all right.
I'm from the old school. So you got out of beauty school and you either worked in a commission salon, you worked at like a mall or a chain, or you rented a chair. Okay. So, navigating through that for many years, I ended up in a sola suite over time when they opened up, because I couldn't find a place that could house me, that had all the things that I needed. So I was thrown into, working for myself, and I learned a lot and failed a lot. And I learned how to run my own business in my own chair. Fast forward to not get into all the nitty gritty of that whole time span. I realized that I was so busy, which is not a bad problem to have, but it was either that I raised my prices so exponentially that I cut half of my book out, or I pushed forward and opened a salon and had a team to help me take on this book that I was building, because I was saying no to new guests and new opportunities every day. I worked with an assistant full time, but it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough room. I come from the land of double booking, triple booking. That's how I know how to work. I know that that's changed over the past couple of years, but at the time, that's what I needed to do. So I scraped together 30 grand and found a place and did everything on a budget to open. And I opened Aura in 2019.
Okay. So there's a couple questions. So were you working in a suite with an assistant?
I was. I was working with an assistant. I had a hourly full-time assistant that worked with me that was licensed. Okay. And we worked from morning until night. Daily.
All right. And was this like a two-chair suite, or?
So interesting enough is the first suite that I had was a large double. So what that meant is that housed two chairs and like a little bit of a waiting area. So I was able to like really kick some ass in that spot. Yeah.
Yeah. And go ahead. Sorry.
In that time, I actually ended up having a baby. And okay. So I got very scared that this big suite, I'm not going to be able to do it. I'm not going to be able to do it. So me being fearful, I decided to downsize into a large single. Probably okay. One of the biggest mistakes I've ever made, because in that single, I realized I'm still going to max out, because I still had this urge, just because I was a mom. Like I still wanted to do all the hair. Right. Like that is in my blood to work. So definitely wasn't a stay-at-home mom. I wanted to do hair. So I went back into my single and killed it. And I was like, I can't do this. I gotta go. I gotta do something else.
How long were you out for after you had your baby?
4 weeks.
4 months?
4 weeks.
4 weeks. Okay. All right. So 4 weeks was probably not.
No.
So would you say you didn't really lose many customers, I guess, because they probably didn't. I mean, 4 weeks isn't a long enough time to be gone, is it?
I was supposed to be gone for 3 months. I came back after 4, like I would say pushing it 6 weeks, but my assistant took my clients while I was gone.
Like with your like good graces, or like?
No, like I put her in there, like work.
Okay. Okay. Gotcha. So
So
she took over the business while you were off.
yeah, I mean, I could I could still see what was going on. You know what I mean? I trusted her completely,
Yeah.
and she knocked it out of the park. She rocked it. Um, and it was great. With the suite that I was in, though, is if you go on maternity leave, what they do is they don't charge you rent if your suite is shut down. But I decided to keep mine open and have my assistant work so that she wouldn't lose her job or lose revenue, and she
Yeah.
could keep going. And she killed it. She made so much money she didn't even know what to do with. And I was at home, still not collecting a lot, but money was still coming in.
And then how long after you how long were you at a suite at the double suite before you got pregnant and you downsized?
I was in that suite for 4.5 years.
Okay. And then how long were you in the smaller suite before you?
2.5, like 1.5. No, two solid.
2 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, all right. So you going through this process, you build this business, you downsize it out of fear, and then you realize that it's not enough. And as a matter of fact, you need more than just a double suite. It's time to take that leap. Tell us about that. Like, deciding to open up a salon, and how did you discover how much, you said $30,000. That doesn't sound like very much money. From like my research, it puts the numbers on much higher. Like, tell us a little about how you made that happen.
So I knew nothing. Like I thought I knew everything, but I didn't know a lot. So I was actually, really, really lucky. I used to work for this guy, right? And I knew that he was really big into commercial real estate. I worked at his restaurant when I was like 15, 16. I knew that he had commercial real estate, and I called him one day and I said, "Hey, do you have any commercial space available?" And he was like, "Actually, I do." And I'm like, "Okay, well, can I have it?" And he was like, "Well, there's a renter in there right now. It's a salon." I'm like, "Great." So I went over there, I pulled up, and this place was like, I mean, it hasn't been touched since 1980 something. I mean, I was like, "Oh my God." So I
Yeah.
walked in, and I went up to this woman that I'd never met in my life. And I said, "Hey, listen, so-and-so sent me in. I just wanted to give you the opportunity. If you're interested in getting out, I would love to take over your space." She literally said yes.
Nice. So wait,
Yeah.
hold on. Sorry. I don't know. I was taking a note from what you were saying. Did you offer her money or just offer to take?
No,
Oh my gosh.
no, no. I didn't offer her any money. I was like, "Can I
You just wanted out.
So she had been there for like 20 years. You know what I mean? And
Okay.
she had renters in there. I think one.
Okay. Okay.
So it wasn't that she was hurting. She was just tired.
Gotcha.
So she said, "Okay, I'm going to think about it, but I think, yeah, I would." I'm like, "Okay." So the next day I met her and her husband, and they asked me for 20 grand.
Okay.
Yeah. I was like, "No,
Okay.
I have to put 30 into this place."
Gotcha. Okay.
So I said, "Hey, how about you work here for 18 months, rent free?"
Oh, nice. I
And
like
she's
it.
and she's
That's
like,
awesome.
"Okay." I
Sweet.
said, "You'll make more than the 20 grand."
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Cool.
So I came in there like gangbusters. I renovated that place in 2 weeks. And we just did a lot of cosmetic work. So obviously it was a salon before. So the plumbing,
Yeah, that's the money right there.
35 grand.
Right.
You know what I mean? That if I would have done all that, it would have cost me probably more of what your research had shown.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Plus I didn't have to go through, I mean, I had to pay first and security. I didn't have to pay last because I knew the guy, and like it was just like a old school kind of deal. You know what I mean? I had worked for him for like many years. He actually got me my first salon job 20 years ago. So everything like came full circle. So I didn't ever burn that bridge. So it really, really helped me down the line, and he's still my landlord today, actually.
Nice.
So I'm still in that same space, and I've renovated it like 3 times, and it's only
How
800
how
square
long
feet.
ago?
I opened in 2019.
Okay. Okay. So, okay, got it.
Yeah.
2019. And you said how many chairs do you have, or how many stylists
I
or
started with 6 chairs.
Okay.
Now I have 9.
Okay.
I have 8 employees.
All
So
right.
we're full to the max in that 800 square foot space. We work very intimately when I tell you.
Yeah, I bet.
Oh my God, it is rough, but we do it. We've been doing it for 3 years. But I will tell you, it doesn't matter where you are, you can make things happen in small spaces, because going into 2022, like that 800 square feet is going to gross $1 million.
Nice. That's awesome.
And I think that all has to do with just hiring the right people, assembling the right team, and really, really establishing a non-negotiable culture.
Yeah.
That's where the magic is.
Nice. So, so many things. So the smaller space, I guess, makes you more nimble in the wake of a pandemic. So, like, did you find that being smaller was actually to your benefit?
No, not really, because maybe I don't know how to really answer that question, because the thing is I'm in Florida, where things are just
no demic.
Yeah, there is no demic here.
No
vid. No vid. Right. So it doesn't even exist. It does. We took it very seriously. Before we were recording, you had said that you started this because you didn't really have any way to navigate through COVID, and we did not either. So what I did during COVID is, I actually, it's on the news. I'll send you the clip. I actually went on the news to talk about the lack of help and leadership through this time for salons. So I came together and I made my own protocol, and it ended up going a little viral, and all the salons in our area actually used it. So
awesome.
We set the tone for COVID. So, and then they actually, when we opened up, the news came back, and then they did another story on us of how we were navigating back open. So we were my business was all over the place with that. So I had to really make sure that we were walking a very tight line.
Gotcha. Nice. Okay.
So we did well. The clients were happy to come back in, and some of them weren't. We did lose some because their protocols didn't match ours. It is what it is. I navigated my business on the side of safe, and nothing was going to get through that, because that's my life. I have children and 2 young children, and I wasn't going to risk, not doing some of these, maybe obnoxious protocols, but we did them because we had no other option, and we didn't have any, protocol. So I definitely probably went overboard. I think somebody did call me, I was called a Karen, a Corona Karen many times, but I'll own it. I'll be a Karen.
Yeah.
I'll be here all day for Karen. I don't care. But there is no Novid here now. Now it's like, it doesn't exist.
Yeah. Okay. So tell it. So we were, I know that, and the viewer and the listener might not know this, or might not caught this, that there are a couple other things. One is you have in-person, you have technical education. You're also working with Redken as an educator with Redken.
Yep. I am onboarding with them 2022 on their education team. Yes. I'm really excited about that. That's a big one for me.
Okay. And then you also started a wig business.
Yeah. So I'm actually wearing one right now.
Nice. Looks pretty good.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So during the, obviously I've had children. I've actually been diagnosed with alopecia probably about I would say probably about 10 years ago, but I was kind of like in denial, and I just kept going shorter with my hair. I kept using the Topic powder. I kept going to doctors, and they just kept telling me like it's hereditary, but it's not hereditary because everybody in my family has lion's manes. Like, that's complete crap. So there's no fix. There's no pill. There's nothing. So during the pandemic, I actually, right before the world shut down, I actually had a baby. And during this time, my hair started to it was just falling out. Like, there's nothing I could do. I started doing some homework on maybe something I could wear. I always said by the time I was 40, I would be in a wig, but I was joking, but I don't think I really was because I'm 37 and here we are. So I started doing all of this homework on like pieces and wigs, and all our business is so big in extensions right now, right? Hand ties, machine, everything, the halos, all of this, and those options are amazing. But there is no option for people that are loosening it up here. There is no shampoo that's going to fix it. I don't give a shit what you tell me. If it was, I would have it.
Yeah.
So I started ordering like all these pieces like over the shutdown. And the one thing that I realize is that the woman that is suffering from this is going to be suffering for a long time, because these things were obnoxious. They were overly priced. They were so expensive. As a professional, as somebody who's been doing hair for almost 20 years, I could not make this work. So imagine what a regular consumer is getting. And these pieces are thousands of dollars.
Interesting.
So I started just like going down the rabbit hole of Instagram, YouTube, and finding information. So what I did was actually went to the local hair store and bought some wigs, and I brought them back to the salon because we were closed, and I just started coloring them, and I started to try to make them look more real, and it worked.
And so you were doing them for yourself, and then, is that right? And you didn't?
Yeah, I was kind of doing them for me, but I was just kind of like doing it just because basically experimenting.
Yeah.
And I actually started posting about it, and then people started asking me like, "Hey, could you color mine?"
Oh, nice. Okay.
And I'm like, and these people did not live in our area, and nobody could get their hair done. So I started having them send them in.
Okay.
So they would send them in. We'd have a FaceTime. They tell me what they want. I'd color the wig, and then I send it back.
I love that.
That's how I made my money.
All right. So, and then you decided, hey, I should do this, make it official.
Yes. So I started doing toppers, and I started finding a supplier, and it took me thousands of dollars that I wasted on trying to find a supplier, because there's scams everywhere. My own page has been scammed. People telling, it's crazy. But the human hair world is very, very scary. It's very expensive. My pieces are very expensive, but at least I can stand behind it. You can actually come to my salon. I actually carry a stock. You can custom order. But these pieces have changed my life. Nice. I don't think if I didn't have this piece on right now, we would be doing this interview.
Okay. There you go. That's awesome. Okay. Well, I think it's super awesome that you see something and you just shared it with the world, and it came back as like a light bulb, and there are people who need this, and you made a business out of it. So what about the education? Tell us like a little brief about that, because like the wig thing I'd like to expand on in a separate episode where
that's a whole thing.
We go a little dive into that.
Yeah, that's a whole thing. Yeah.
Okay, so why don't you help us kind of like wrap up your story a little bit, like the intro anyway, with tell us a little about the education, and if there's anything else that the audience needs to know.
So the salon, that 800 square feet salon, is going through an expansion right now. So that will be done at the end of December. I can't wait to share it with the world. We're going to be doubling in size, and maybe. Nice. Yeah, circling back to the education, I'll be able to do more hands-on in person. And the reason why I only do hands-on is because I am a doer learner. I am not a visual learner. I'm not an audio learner. I need to do it. Like, I have to touch something to understand it. And I think that a lot, that does resonate a lot with our industry, is because we are doers. We hustle. We're really good at multitasking. So my thing is, what I like to teach people behind, like, I bring in some business and I bring in some technical, and I marry them together. So what I teach is how to stack that massive ticket in half the time.
Nice.
So I provide placements and plans to get through basically an entire head of hair, and of how to maximize revenue in a shorter amount of time. So something that looked like it took 6 hours, it takes me 3.
Nice. I love that.
So we could do 2 of those in a day instead of 1, because the salon owner needs to make money. The salon owner can't make money on one person a day. on each chair, but the stylist can't either.
Right.
So how do we bridge that together? We learn how to do smarter services that stack, where we're ticket stacking, you know, base color, foliage, gloss, treatment, cut, blow, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we're able to cut down on that time so that the salon owner can see a revenue. Because everybody doing one service for 7 hours, I'm sorry, everyone is losing.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Yeah. Yeah. Unless you're charging $2,000.
Right. And we're not doing that. We're not. Like the average
Right.
salon owner is not doing that, because the average stylist income for 2021 was $24,000.
Oh, everyone hear that? $24,000 average income.
So what's the problem here? That means there's two problems. There's one, a lot of us are not doing our taxes properly. Two, we're not working efficiently.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
definitely
how can we work?
both of those things.
Right. So if I'm able to show how to do, I can't show you how to do your taxes, but I can show you how to work smarter and not harder, but not compromising the work.
Nice. Awesome. So are you going to add any treatment rooms, do any skincare? Are you just going to add more chairs?
No,
hair all the way.
I only like doing things that I can have, like you said earlier, authority on. I can't have authority on skin, nails, lashes. I don't know any of that shit. So I love it, but it's just not for me.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
Not in this house.
Awesome. Well, I think this is great. This kind of like helped everybody get to know you, and we think we learned some things, and it's just it's so inspirational to hear people who move on their ideas, and I think that it's good to hear stories like this, because our listeners and our viewers, some of them are looking for specific information, some of them are looking for an interesting story, but some of them are looking for that motivation and inspiration to like continue to push through. So I'm really glad to have you on.
Thanks, it was a blast.
Good. So to wrap this episode up, I like to end with a laugh. So I ask all of my guests to share their most embarrassing moment in the salon, behind the chair, or with a customer. First thing that comes to their mind. Obviously, you can opt out of this.
No, let's do it. It's bad.
Okay, awesome.
So this actually didn't happen. I have two of them. Okay, the first one actually happened pretty recently. I wasn't paying attention. I was talking, doing whatever, I don't know. So I was turned this way. The client was this way. It was a short haircut. I meant to grab my texturizing shears, and I grabbed like my regular ones, and I just chopped that shit off. Like, like all in on the bang. Like,
oh no,
no tape and extensions gonna cover it. Like nothing.
Oh no. What did she say? What did the guest say?
Oh, she started crying.
Oh no, of course. No.
She was crying.
Oh.
Well, she was crying and laughing at the same time. So that was really scary, because that meant that she was like, fuck.
Losing it.
So there's another one. This one's really bad too. Okay. So the second one is, I was still paying attention. So I was in a rush. And I was running behind. I think it was like 25. Like it was 25. And I was in a rush. I was running behind, and it was with scissors, obviously. I took the scissors down, and I'm like, chop. So I cut here. The piece of skin, like the piece of finger, went into her hair. But I just finished bleaching it.
Oh, see, do you have a little pink hair?
No, it's red because it went everywhere.
Oh my
gosh. On the back. Swear to God. And I had to bleach it. So I told her, I found the piece, and I just kind of flicked it. And I was going to go back to that later. And I put my hand here, and I told her what happened, and she said that it was okay. But I told her that I had to bleach her again.
Yeah.
So before there was balayage, I did my own balayage, and I just mixed a bunch of 40 volume and just started painting. My hand was open, like my assistant was holding my hand like this, and I was painting her hair.
Oh my gosh.
But she's still my client to this day.
Nice. Good.
Yeah, and I did actually end up having to go to the walk-in because I had like 6 stitches across here.
Oh wow.
I was like, on a serious note, I was like 2 seconds from like cutting, like bleeding out. But
oh geez,
there's no
like
crying and hairstyling, right?
No, that's like a movie where it's like squirting.
Nope, but I was going like this, so it was going all over the back of her hair because I was freaking out.
Oh my gosh.
But what I didn't realize is you're in a salon, so there's mirrors behind you.
Yeah.
So she's like, what's wrong? What's wrong? I'm like, nothing.
Well, if she was a brunette, you could have just pretend like it never happened.
Oh my God. I was like sweating and like tears that were in my eyes, but she was really cool about it. Like she wasn't like, I would have been absolutely disgusted, but she was cool about it. But I mean, you could see in the hair, cause it was so white, you could see.
Oh
like,
my gosh.
the ballistics.
It's like Dexter blood spatter.
Yeah, it was like SVU shit. You know what I mean? Like, but she was cool about it. Definitely didn't really do a really good job on the whole blood spill procedure. Probably definitely need to work on that because that was bad. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just like, but I've done so many things behind the chair that if I told you what I've gotten away with and how I've been to pivot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it
happens. Whole class on that.
Oh my God, things not to do. Like,
yeah, and how to pivot out of disaster.
Yeah, how to fake it till you make it, for real,
yeah.
Like literally.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. All right. Well, thank you so much, everybody. This is Dominique, and we'll definitely have her back again to expand on some other topics. For example, the wig thing, and some other things that she speaks authority to. So, Dominique, thank you so much for taking the time.
Thanks, everyone.
All right, and until next time, take care.